ran a story about the fact that the British government, through the health service, had spent hundreds of millions of pounds seconding, taking over private hospitals. And this was a story about private hospital doctors. This was a quote, a direct quote from one of them. We're not treating any patients. And we're sitting here, this was the quote, strumming our fingers with nothing to do. One of them said, I'm having to turn patients away. One he mentioned was someone with arthritis who was crying themselves to sleep with pain every night. And all he could say to them was take painkillers. And there is a horror show going on behind these doors, these lockdown doors. And the real killer of human beings on a massive scale all over the world will not be COVID-19. There is no COVID-19. It will be the lockdown and the consequences of it. And you know, the way they're going to get I'll try to get around it, and it is try, is what they say is these computer model projections that cause the lockdown, brackets, load of bollocks, anyone with half a brain cell on active duty could see it, those figures didn't happen because of the lockdown. This is the way the scam works. So, Mr. Ferguson, yeah? What about Sweden, who've not had a lockdown? What about Belarus? What about Tokyo? Look at their figures, even with a ludicrous misdiagnosis scam, and tell me why we had to have the lockdown when you compare what's happening in countries that the very few that didn't have it. The lockdown has never been necessary except for two things. One, destroying the livelihoods of vast numbers of people so that they become dependent on the state and control. And two, just say if you want normalcy, you've got to have the vaccine. And by the way, Mr. Gates, if I could just ask the question, sir. If you've not isolated the virus and purified it to prove that it is a virus, and you've not then, according to the way the medical system should work, put that isolated virus into a living host, and they've got the disease that you say this is causing, plus many other things, none of which have been done with COVID-19, then if you've not isolated the virus, Mr. Gates, how can you find a vaccine for it? Another, if you've not isolated the virus, how can you be testing for it? Answers to both questions, you can't. And I said to you, Brian,